Ever wondered if, like, a single tweet could land you in actual prison?
Sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy, but that's exactly what we're getting into today, folks.
The intersection of, well, social media, election law, and some pretty big names.
Elon Musk and his mother, Maye Musk.
We're talking potential legal hot water.
You want the breakdown on how this whole thing shakes out legally?
Buckle up because we're diving in.
That's right, we are diving in.
It's pretty wild how something is, seemingly small as a tweet.
Small, a tweet.
Okay, maybe not small, but you know what I mean. A tweet. It can become this, like, legal minefield.
Especially with something as important as elections.
Exactly. And look, while those headlines might focus on Elon and May, the bigger story, the one we're focused on, is about U.S. election law.
Right, because those laws apply to everyone, celebrity or not.
Absolutely. Nobody gets a free pass.
And to be clear, we're not talking about some obscure law here. We're
Yeah.
talking serious accusations backed up by reporting from sources like The Independent and Science Daily.
Reputable sources.
So just to get everyone up to speed, Elon Musk offered some pretty substantial financial rewards.
Substantial.
Yeah, we're talking real money here, linked to a petition that, according to reports, required voter registration.
Interesting.
And then you've got Maye Musk. She jokingly suggested, that people could vote multiple times under, get this, fake names.
And that's where things get, well, legally dicey.
Dicey how?
Because the law doesn't always care about intent.
Really?
Even if Maye Musk's comment was, like, totally a joke.
Which, let's be real, it probably was.
Probably. But it still raises flags because it explicitly encourages voter fraud.
Right.
Which is a serious no-no, a federal offense.
Okay, so let's, break this down a little.
Yeah.
What specific laws are we talking about here?
And why are they such a big deal?
Yeah, give us the rundown.
So one of the big ones is the National Voter Registration Act of 1993.
Catchy.
Right. NVRA for short.
NVRA.
And this law is pretty clear. You absolutely cannot offer anything of value.
Anything.
Anything. In exchange for someone registering to vote. Doesn't matter if it's a free meal, a discount code, even a retweet.
Wow, really? A retweet?
Anything that could be seen as a reward. No go.
Huh.
And the penalties, well, they're serious.
Serious how?
Up to 5 years in prison,
Hmm.
plus a hefty fine, potentially, for each violation.
5 years. That's,
A long time.
yeah. So when Elon Musk offered, what was it, $47 to every swing state voter who signed a specific petition.
This is where the details get really important.
Okay, so what are the details? Give them to me.
So Elon Musk's tweet,
The one offering $47.
that's the one. It was retweeted by Jack Posobiec,
Okay.
and the tweet itself doesn't actually mention voter registration.
It doesn't.
Nope. However, news reports, they suggest that voter registration might have been part of the process for signing this petition.
Ah.
And if that's
accurate.
true, then tying a financial reward, even indirectly, to an action that involves voter registration
Could be a problem.
could be a big problem.
So it's not just about what the tweet says outright.
Right.
It's about the actions it might be tied to.
Bingo. Context is king. And when you're dealing with elections, those details, those connections, they matter a lot.
So we're talking real legal trouble, not just some bad PR.
Oh, this is way beyond bad PR. We're talking about the U.S. legal system.
Okay, so how do we know these laws are really enforced? Has this happened before?
Right. Good point. To really get a feel for how serious this could be for Elon and Maye Musk, it helps to look at some past cases.
Past cases? Like what?
So there's this case that really highlights the whole incentive thing. Rosalind Carita, a Tennessee state senator.
State senator, okay.
Back in 2006, she was accused of offering free meals in exchange for votes.
Free meals. That doesn't sound too bad, especially compared to, $47 a pop.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But that's exactly it. Even something small like a free lunch can be a problem.
Wow, so you really have to be careful what you say and do during an election, even if you're not running for office yourself.
Exactly. And it's not just about what you offer. It's about the potential impact. Let's take another case. United States v. Tobin back in 2005.
Okay. What happened there?
So this political operative, he was trying to mess with get out the vote efforts, shutting down phone lines and all that.
Trying to rig the election.
Basically, yeah. And while his conviction was overturned for technical reasons, the case shows just how seriously the law takes election interference.
Right, so we've got one case about incentives, another about, interfering with the process itself. But how do those relate to Elon and May? Their tweets seem pretty different, don't they?
You're right. Each tweet needs to be looked at individually. details and context.
Right, of course. So let's break it down. Starting with, say, Elon Musk. He never actually said, register to vote, get $47. It was more about the petition, wasn't it?
True, but remember what we said about context.
Yeah, it's king, right?
Exactly. And reports suggest that voter registration might have been part of this whole petition thing.
Ah, okay.
So the big question is, did Elon Musk, by offering that money, potentially violate the NVRA?
Even if it wasn't direct.
Exactly. It's complicated.
Super complicated. Okay, so that's Elon and the NVRA. What about Maye Musk? Her tweet seems a bit more straightforward.
Right. And like we said, ignorance of the law isn't a defense.
Even for a Musk.
Especially for someone with millions of followers. Her tweet, even as a joke, directly encouraged a federal crime. And legal experts on X, they noticed.
So even if she deletes it, it doesn't just go away.
Nope. In the digital age, things stick around. Especially when it comes to elections.
Right, right. Okay, so we've got these two high-profile people, these controversial tweets, and a whole lot of legal gray area. Could they actually face charges for this?
That's a million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And to understand the answer, we need to look at who might bring those charges.
Okay, so who could actually bring charges? Lay it on me.
All right, so there are two big players to watch here.
Hit me.
The Department of Justice.
The DOJ.
Yep. And then there's the Federal Election Commission.
The FEC. Okay, so those names ring a bell, but remind me what they actually do.
So the DOJ, they're like the investigators, right? They look into possible criminal violations of federal law.
Which, in this case, could be.
Well, potential violations of the NVRA, for one, or those laws about voter fraud we talked about.
Right, right. Okay. What about the FEC? What do they do?
They're all about campaign finance.
Yeah.
Making sure all the money stuff is legal.
So depending on the specifics, either of them could get involved.
Exactly. Or even both.
And they're not messing around when it comes to this stuff, right? I mean, elections are serious business.
Oh, absolutely. They take election integrity very, very seriously. We've actually seen some pretty harsh penalties, even for unintentional violations.
Oh, really? Like what?
There was this case, Crystal Mason.
Okay.
She got 5 years in prison for accidentally voting while she was on probation. She didn't even realize she wasn't allowed to vote.
Whoa. 5 years? That seems pretty harsh.
Right. But it just goes to show they aren't playing around.
Wow. Okay, so no slap on the wrist for the Musks if this goes through.
Nope. No matter who you are, the law is the law.
So walk me through it. What would happen if the DOJ or the FEC decided to pursue this? What would that even look like?
Well, first comes the investigation.
Of course, yeah.
For Elon, they'd look at everything. The petition, the money, the whole 9 yards.
And for Maye?
Her case is a little more cut and dry, but they'd still want to see what they could find.
And then what after the investigation?
Well, if they think there's enough, they'd file charges.
And those charges could lead to, give it to me straight,
Fines, for sure.
we talking like parking ticket fines or...
For Elon, we could be talking millions, maybe even more. It all depends on how they calculate it. Those POO violation fines add up quickly.
Yikes.
And then there's always jail time. Like Crystal Mason, remember her?
Yeah, 5 years for an honest mistake.
Exactly. So yeah, jail time's a real possibility. For both of them, potentially.
Okay, wow. This is serious stuff.
Oh yeah. And we haven't even talked about their reputations.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Even if they don't go to jail, this whole thing's going to be in the news. It could really hurt their brands, you know?
True.
And those legal fees, they'll be astronomical.
Yeah, lawyers aren't cheap.
No kidding.
Wow. Okay. So this is shaping up to be a whole thing.
Yeah, a whole expensive public thing.
Well, you've definitely given us a lot to think about. Any last words of wisdom?
Just be careful what you post online, folks. You never know what might happen, especially when it comes to elections.
That's right. Words have power.
More than ever these days.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. Big thanks to you for breaking down this whole Elon and Maye Musk situation.
Anytime.
And as always, thanks to all of you for joining us on another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.